Gone are the days when people used to steal your car or bike and go joyriding. Now it's organised crime, where the thieves are ready to fight the owner in their house and on their drive. I wanted to tell you a story that's recently happened in the area that I live, and voted one of the nicest places to live in the UK, and that's where marketing goes wrong, because that goes and tells the wrong people where maybe the nicest things to steal when it comes to vehicles are held. But whatever, we'll move on. So over the weekend, one of the neighbours had their keyless vehicles attempted to be stolen. Now the thieves came with the right software or hardware to get the signal from the key set to open up this particular vehicle. Unfortunately they were unsuccessful, so they broke into the house to go and find what metal container the wireless key was sat in. Obviously the owners chased them out and things like that. The same pair of thieves went into the next village and ultimately stole a vehicle, I believe it was a Jaguar, again a wireless key, and got away with that car. But in the meantime they also tried to steal another car where the owner was woken up, and the owner and the thieves ended up fighting. So now the thieves are ready to fight to take your vehicle from your drive. Now I appreciate that this has been happening with motorcycles in London and maybe other cities, where someone on a scooter, two guys on a scooter, will push you off your bike and then take your bike. Yeah, I understand that, but now thieves are getting brave enough to come to your house, get in your house, and they're willing to fight. They're willing to fight with you to get the keyless signal to be able to steal the car that's on your drive. Now obviously, so what we've got to think about is, I've been thinking about this, we've got to think about the motivation of the thief. This must be organised crime. I've never really thought about it before. Put your comments below. If I'm talking absolute rubbish, tell me so. But I am assuming this is organised crime, where the thieves are the pawns of the chessboard and they do the grunt work. Yes, they're doing the grunt work for someone that's bigger and higher up, and they are ordered to go and get a particular set of vehicles, or one vehicle of which they have a choice of however many. Yeah, and then they scout an area and then they go and select a number of cars that they could potentially steal and go through the process of stealing those cars. I am assuming that those thieves are under such pressure from their boss in this organised crime hierarchy that they are now willing to fight owners in their properties or on their drives to be able to attain a particular vehicle. Where did we get to that point? I can understand it when you're on the road on a motorcycle and someone tries to push you off. I can understand that, and then sometimes you can get away. But now thieves are ready to fight the owner in their property or on their property to be able to steal a particular car. This is madness. This is absolute madness. In fact, I remember buying a car from Birmingham. What they used to do, and this was before these remote keyless locks, yes, these radio signal locks, they left all the keys for their vehicles on their drive at the entrance of their property, on the inside of the property, of course, because if the thieves got into the property to get the keys, they were there at the front door. Yeah. And I thought that was strange, and that was got to be 20 years ago, that, if not a bit longer. But now what's happening is they're willing to fight for your vehicle. That's unbelievable. Have you experienced this? Now, I've always said, well, you know, many of us have had motorcycles stolen. And I've had a motorcycle stolen. And now when I come home, I immediately put it in the garage. I don't leave it on the drive. I open the garage and roll the bike in. And when I go out, I get ready and then get the bike out and leave the property. When I'm coming home, I tend to look in my mirrors to make sure no one's following me. And if I fear that someone is following me, then I'll continue riding around the estate and keep on going until they take a left or a right, and then I've got no one behind me. Are you doing this? Is it me that's just a bit paranoid? Do you think you should be doing this with your car or your motorbike? Gone are the days when I used to leave the motorbike on the drive, all so proud, where the neighbours could look, and as people walk by they could smile and look and nod and things like that. Those days are gone. Or is it me that's just paranoid? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Because, you know, when the neighbours look at my bike, I know that's okay. Generally speaking, I know that's okay. Even though one of my neighbours of the past was part of the theft of my motorcycle. I've done a video on that in the past with my Triumph Daytona 1000 in 1993, I think it was. But that's another subject. Gone are the days where I leave it on the drive and give it a good polish for 7 hours and all that. I'll do it in the garage. I'll do it with the door down so no one can see me. And no one sees a motorbike on the drive for more than, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes. Are you acting this way, or is it just me? Are we all getting a little paranoid, or is it just me? I cannot believe that one of the people in the next village are having to fight with 2 thieves to stop them stealing their car using the software and the remote signal of these wireless keys. And then I'm wondering where these cars go. They're obviously not going for a joyride, like joyrides of the 1980s. Remember those days where people used to steal your car and then it was found 2 days later, and it may have been in a mess or it may not have been in a mess, but the steering column was damaged because they damaged the lock system and the steering lock. But is it a case now where they're being stolen to order and then they're being taken and stripped, or are they being shipped abroad, or what's happening with these vehicles, including motorcycles? Are they being recovered, or do they just disappear into the ether? I've no idea. You tell me. Hope you're enjoying the video of the country lanes in Wales. Absolutely lovely ride, but I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this. Strange story. Are you willing to fight for your car? I always thought that the thieves were fairly cowardish, and coming up to a fight, they'd run a mile. But I'm not so sure today. I really am not so sure, based on what's happened over the local area that I live in. How bizarre. I'll leave it at that. I'll let you get on with your day. Hope you found this informative, thought-provoking. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Ride safely, be kind, and eat healthily. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.